Hi everybody, it's Lynnea, and I have a video for ThermOWeb using the new Unity toner card fronts. I love every time Unity and ThermOWeb collaborate to create these toner card fronts. They are amazing patterns, and there are 5 new designs that you can use with any of the foils in the ThermOWeb line. Like I said, there are 5 patterns. There is Wild Garden, Rosy Days, Majestic Moths, Tranquil Leaves, and Paisley Dreams. And then there are also 5 featured foils on the ThermOWeb website that are going to pair perfectly with these, and they are available at a discount for a limited time. We have Deco Foil Summer Rainbow, Amethyst Watercolor, and Emerald Watercolor, and then Gina K Designs Turquoise Sea and Wild Lilac. I'm also going to be using a stamp set from Unity today. It's the In My Thoughts Girl, and it is the May Sentiment Kit stamp set. So let's get started on my card. I'm going to use the Wild Garden Unity Toner card front, and I'm going to foil it with Deco Foil Emerald Watercolor. So I have a couple tips when I'm foiling these toner card fronts. I like to just cut a piece of foil that's slightly larger than my toner card front. I'm going to use a microfiber cloth, but you could use a Swiffer cloth or something that's kind of anti-lint, something that's not going to leave fibers behind. And I like to wipe the front of my toner card front really well. And then I'm going to lay my foil on top, pretty side up, and really flatten that out. I don't want to have any creases in my foil. I'm going to put this into a piece of folded parchment paper. My parchment paper is by Deco Foil, and I just cut those sheets down a little bit, and I run that through my laminator. And look at that shine, I love it. And the Emerald Watercolor foil has this pretty gold accent to it. I'm just going to turn off my lights. My bright studio lights kind of reflect off the foil and just make it look black. So when I turn my lights down, you can really see the different shades of green and gold there. Now in all of my videos, I always say to make sure that you keep your negative piece of foil. And I realize that it's been a long time since I actually used my negative piece of foil in a video. So today I'm going to show you one of the easiest ways, I think, to use your leftover pieces. I have a 6x6 Easy Cut adhesive sheet. This is double-sided clear adhesive, and I'm going to put this on a piece of white cardstock. Now clearly this is much too big for my design. That's okay. I will cut off the excess and I'll leave that. I like to foil sentiments or little strips of cardstock to add as accents on my cards, so I'll keep the extra. I'm going to use a bone folder to burnish the iCraft Easy Cut adhesive onto my white cardstock. That makes peeling off that backer a little bit easier. And then there are 2 ways that you can add your foil into this adhesive. You can lay your foil down and kind of roll your cardstock into it, but I like to lay my adhesive covered cardstock down on my work surface and roll the foil over it. I find that I get smoother results that way. I'm going to use the backer sheet from that Easy Cut adhesive and really press that foil down into the adhesive. Then I'll use my nonstick scissors and trim away the excess. And like I said, I'll keep that extra strip of cardstock that has adhesive on it. I'll keep that for a future project. Now I'm going to use a layered rectangle die to cut this down because there are excess pieces of foil around the outside edge, and I want to make sure that I just have that foil design. You can use a paper trimmer. I found it's easier for me to use a shape die. So this case I went with just a rectangle. And you can see here the reverse pattern from that Unity Wild Garden toner card front. Now on the positive piece, let's do some watercoloring. There are lots of ways to add color to the toner card fronts. You can leave them just white with the colored foil on top. They are beautiful that way. You can add ink blending, Copic coloring. I love to do watercoloring. Watercoloring is something that's very easy, and since this Wild Garden Unity toner card front has this kind of loose and wild look to it, I thought that I would add some loose watercoloring over the top. So I'm going to be coloring my flowers yellow and purple, and then just adding some bits of kind of like a warm gray. So I'm mixing together an ochre yellow and a gray watercolor. I'm going to mix them together just to use on those little those circular buds. I'm not very good with my botany terms, so you're just going to get the general term of buds and flowers and leaves. but I'm just coloring right over the watercoloring, or right over the foiling rather, and the foil acts as a resist. This is something that I've done in videos and on live streams before, but it's one of my favorite ways to add color. I think that it goes on very easily, and the toner card front has this slick feel to it, and the watercoloring just moves beautifully. So you can see here that I'm not taking any care to color inside the lines. I'm going with that wild garden look, coloring right over the foil as well, and the foil is going to resist my watercoloring, and so it kind of pushes the water off of the foil. Any color that stays on top of the foil, once this panel is all dry, I take that same cloth that I used to wipe it off before I foiled. I'm just going to wipe right over it again, and because that foil is slick, the watercolor comes right off, and you're going to still have that pretty foil design shining through the watercolor. So let's add a sentiment. I'm going to keep these cards pretty simple and just put a sentiment on top. I really wanted the color of the emerald watercolor deco foil and that pretty wild garden toner card front to be the star of the show. So I'm grabbing a sentiment from the Unity In My Thoughts Girl stamp set. This is the May Sentiment Kit stamp set from Unity, and it just says, "Have a beautiful day." I thought this would be the perfect sentiment for these cards. I'll stamp that in black ink, and then I'll just use my paper trimmer to trim out a strip and add a banner edge to that. I used some Deco Foil white foam adhesive sheets to give just a little bit of lift behind my toner card front. So you can see that I used that same rectangle die to cut down the Wild Garden positive piece that I used on the negative piece and mounted them onto white A2 cards. And then I'm just going to use iCraft 3D foam strips, and I'll use my T-square ruler to make sure that I have the sentiments on straight, and that will give just a little bit of lift to the sentiment strip. And that's going to finish off these two cards. So I hope that you've picked up some tips and tricks for foiling, as well as using the negative pieces of your foil from your toner card fronts to create a bonus card. Thank you guys so much for watching. All of the ThermOWeb products that I've used are linked and listed below in the video description. Thank you again so much for watching this video, and I will see you again really soon. Bye! Thank you again very much for watching this video. If you liked this video and you'd like to see more from me, please hit that subscribe button that is on the screen now. And here are a few other videos that I thought you might enjoy.